All right, let's get right into it. If you've ever felt like proving your English skills is the one big hurdle standing between you and your dreams, well, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to unlock the PTE Academic Exam, a test that's really changing the game for students, migrants, and professionals all over the world.
So, does this question hit close to home? You know, whether you're dreaming of a university in London, trying to get a visa for Australia, or maybe landing that perfect job in Canada, you're going to need something that proves your English skills. The big question is, which test is the right one for you?
So here's our game plan. First, we'll cover what PTE actually is and who it's for. Then, we'll break down the test itself, get into how the scoring works, look at its biggest advantages, and map out a simple game plan so you can decide if it's the right path for you.
Okay, first things first. What exactly is this test? Let's get to the heart of PTE and see who it's really built for.
So, at its core, PTE Academic is an English test for non-native speakers. But the two things that make it really different are AI-scored and real-life academic English. See, this isn't about memorizing obscure grammar rules. It's all about how you actually use English in a university lecture or a professional setting. And that AI part, we'll see why that's such a huge deal in just a minute.
And, you know, a ton of different people take this test. We're talking about students who are dreaming of studying abroad, families looking to build a new life in countries like Australia or the UK, and even professionals who need to get certified in their field. It's literally designed to check the box for all of these big life goals.
Now here's a quick but super important point. PTE isn't just one single test. Academic is the one you'll hear about most for universities, but CORE is specifically for Canadian immigration, and the UKVI versions are for certain UK visas. So what's the takeaway? Always double-check which specific test you need for your application.
All right, so what's it actually like to take this test? Let's pull back the curtain on what you're going to face during this 2-hour computer-based exam.
The whole thing is split into 3 main parts. But the first 2, speaking and writing, are actually combined into one section. You'll be doing a whole range of things, from reading a sentence out loud and describing an image you see, all the way to writing a full essay. The reading and listening sections have tasks you might expect, like multiple choice, but often with a unique twist, which brings us to our next point. Now this is what really sets PTE apart. It's not just about testing your skills one by one. You'll listen to a short lecture and then have to write a summary about it. Or you'll read a text and then have to speak about it. It tests how you use all your skills together, which, let's be honest, is much closer to how we actually communicate in the real world. So, you've done the test. Now what? Understanding your score is absolutely crucial, so let's break down how PTE actually measures your performance.
The first thing to know is that the scoring is super simple and precise. You get an overall score on a scale from 10 to 90. No confusing bands or weird levels, just one straightforward number that shows your ability.
But your score report gives you so much more than just that one number. The AI doesn't just grade your main communication skills, it also gives you a detailed breakdown of what they call enabling skills. Things like your fluency, pronunciation, and vocabulary. This gives you a really clear picture of exactly where you're strong and where you might need a little work. Now, for a lot of you, this is the key translator. It helps you connect the dots. So if a university is asking for an IELTS score of 7.0, you're aiming for a PTE score of around 65. This kind of comparison is absolutely essential for figuring out the requirements for the places you're applying to. Okay, so we know what the test is. We know how it's scored, but why should you pick PTE over all the others? Let's talk about the key advantages, because there are some big ones.
This one is massive. Waiting weeks for test results can be so stressful, especially when you've got deadlines breathing down your neck. With PTE, your results are usually back within 2 days. That kind of speed can be a total game changer.
And here's another huge plus, the AI scoring. There's no human examiner who might be having a bad day or maybe is unconsciously thrown off by your accent. The algorithm scores you the same way, objectively, every single time. And hey, for anyone who gets nervous in those face-to-face interviews, this is a massive relief.
And the good stuff doesn't stop there. You can often book a test with just 24 hours notice, which is incredible. The whole exam is done in about 2 hours, much shorter than some of the others. And most importantly, it's accepted by thousands of universities and governments all around the world. Okay, feeling like this might be for you? Let's shift gears and get practical. If you decide to take the PTE, here's a simple game plan to get you totally prepared.
Really, it all comes down to these 3 steps. First, you register online through the official website. It's super easy. Second, and this is the most important part, you prepare using the official practice materials. The practice tests feel just like the real thing. And finally, on test day, your job is to speak clearly and just keep an eye on that clock.
Let's just bust a couple of common myths real quick. First, your accent. So many people worry about this, but the AI is trained on accents from all over the world. It honestly doesn't care where you're from, it just cares about clarity. Second, this idea that PTE is just for Australia is years out of date. Its global acceptance is growing every single day.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground. So now, let's bring it all home and help you answer that final, most important question. Is this the right test for you? This really sums it all up. If you're someone who needs fast, fair results, and you're comfortable doing a test on a computer, then PTE Academic isn't just an option. It could be the most powerful tool you have to unlock your future.
And that leaves us with one final thought. PTE puts artificial intelligence right at the center of how it evaluates you. The result is a test that's incredibly fast, unbiased, and objective. So the question we're left with is, are we looking at the future of fair testing for everyone?